that's it. Okay. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Gamers Lounge podcast. With me as always is Eric, Nathaniel, and Robert. I'm John. I forgot to introduce myself at the beginning, sorry. Of course, if you're on the live stream, you can see all our names, or you're watching the video, you can see all our names on there. So, but you know,
Hello.
and at this point, it's like 1:49. If you don't know,
Well, it could be their first time.
it could be. Yeah, I mean, it absolutely could
First time,
be.
10-time caller.
This is the time of year we get it too, because everybody's just trying to get all that E3 stuff.
Yeah, that is
as they
true.
can.
That is true, and that's why today we're not. Normally, what we do is one podcast, usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we cover everything in one big long show. But it was totally. It's exhausting to sit and do it for 2 or 3 hours at one time, and
Yeah,
it's a huge
just too much
file.
information
Yeah.
talk about.
So what we've decided to do is we're going to do this episode tonight, where we're going to talk about what EA and Microsoft had, and then we will talk Tuesday about everybody else, and I mean everybody else: Bethesda, Sony, Nintendo. Nintendo, Ubisoft. Yeah, there's all the other ones. The wonderful PC that they.
Devolver nobody cares about.
Yeah,
they had a funny tweet about somebody had said that, and they retweeted them, and we're zooming in on like nobody cares about Devolver. And they put like the last image in their little sequence was like a sad. I think it was Tom Hiddleston on it, but like a sad face thing, like oh, who cares about this?
Yeah, but yeah, they have some good games, but I don't know if they need a whole.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
whole
mean,
thing for them.
you'll see the stuff outside of it, but tuning in to watch is kind of like, all right.
Yeah, but we'll hit on the big ones that they have. At least most of the stuff. You know, it may not be all the stuff where every little bit, but it'll be a lot of the
You can
news.
probably get into most of it.
Yeah.
'Cause with only two this first time, it's a little easier to do.
Oh
that.
yeah, this one's going to be super easy with even though Microsoft had a ton of games, but this one's going to be easy. This one won't take too long because we'll skim over EA. So yeah, so we're not going to talk about what we
What?
played.
You
We're
don't
not going to talk
wanna
about
talk
anything. Oh my gosh, yeah.
EA needs to hire someone new to just fire everyone
Put
at
together
this
the show.
company who
Focus.
does the presentations and get someone new that decides, hey, wait, maybe we should show things instead of just talking forever
Yeah.
about everything. Because
As
they've
people-
done this for the past however many years now.
Falling
and they
asleep.
Still do it. They
You know,
just
it's
don't- they
funny
don't care, like-
when I went to the managers conference, it was a very similar setup to what they did there, and it's just like, why are they not scaling their production values for the type of event that it is? Like it was too small scale. Like who is this for?
Yeah, I don't know. EA's a weird thing.
Well, it's like they have some good stuff to show, but their presentation on how they show it just sucks any of the excitement out of
Yeah.
what you're seeing when you actually get to see anything. So it's just like, dude, learn how to show things off a little bit better, and people won't, yell at you so much, EA. They'll still
Not
yell
to
at you for all
mention
the other
how
stupid crap you do,
awkward
but-
they are.
oh, jeez, yeah. Don't remind me.
I mean, at least this year they have somebody on cameras hosting it who knows what they're doing, unlike last year where it was just random YouTuber people that they
Yeah.
kept going back to that don't know like how to be a host. But I mean, yay, I guess. but-
Still, as usual with EA, I about fell asleep halfway through it. Or
Yeah, my attention got taken away almost immediately.
yeah,
Well,
well,
it's because they haven't learned show, don't tell. They just like want to sit there and talk and talk. You can have a little bit of that, but your pacing is so slow, you're just losing the interest of anyone watching.
yeah.
Even if you have some cool stuff, we'll be asleep through it because you bored us to death.
Yeah, it's just, but all right. We're not going to go through any of the stuff that we normally do, what we've been playing and stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. We're just going to go talk about what we've seen in all
I've
the shows.
played a little bit of Vampire, that's it.
Okay, well, one question. Is the game as good as everybody says it is? And that's all I'm going to ask. Just yes or no.
Vampire? Well, I mean, it seems like it depends on different reviewers on how much they get out of it. So it depends on what you're looking into. I've only played maybe an hour, so I'm not super deep into it.
Oh, okay.
The first part's pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely not a huge AAA budget game. There's a little bit of jankiness to it, but I mean, from what I want from Don't Nod, I'm sure it's probably going to.
It seemed like a pretty cool
So.
concept, so maybe
Yeah.
I'll watch it for the price come down, like Black Friday, or see some gets on sale later.
Yeah, what little bit I've seen of it and played of it so far is cool. I've just been super busy with moving to a new place, and that takes up time.
I played a ton of stuff because I haven't been on the show for like a month, but we're not talking about it.
Yeah, we won't.
Ah,
talk about it.
yeah.
Microsoft had 50 different games, and EA had a bunch of games. So I mean, it's there's plenty to talk about.
Just talking at you.
Yeah, there was some odd things with that press conference, but we'll get into it while we're talking about the games we saw. So I'm pulling the show notes from GameSpot. So the EA one's not in any particular order. So right off the bat, the first game that they have listed here in the notes is Anthem.
Briefly. They showed like a very small snippet.
Well, it was a very small gameplay snippet that.
Yeah, for the amount of time that they devoted to Anthem, they didn't really show us anything more that we didn't already see last year.
Yeah.
It was just a different gameplay trailer that still showed us some of the same stuff of, look, you're flying, you go into the water, you shoot some stuff. Like,
Yeah, I
knew that
don't.
already awesome. It still looks pretty and it looks like it could be fun, but show us something new, man.
Yeah, I know. It was really strange and really. I mean, what I got from it was I'm going to be Tony Stark.
Yeah,
in
it's just all Iron Man vibes.
Yeah, all Iron Man vibes in a
Which is what we got
post-apocalyptic.
already. So
Yeah.
it's like, yep, looks like it's still on track to be what we thought it was.
To
Which I think
me,
it could be cool, but they didn't really. They talked about how, look, we have all of this cool story and stuff we're trying to do, but they didn't show us any of that. They
yeah,
just talked about it
exactly.
for a long
They
time.
just talked about it for a while. It was.
With some concept art in the background. It's just really strange showing it this way for a game that's like less than a year away because it's supposed to be early 2019.
Yeah, it's
That's the same
February.
division. There's no way. If they're only showing it like this here, either they're incompetent or the game just isn't ready to show, which means it's going to either come in really hot or they're going to delay it again.
Yeah, there was a lot that I wanted to actually see of the game, and it was, I wanted to see gameplay, I wanted to see mechanics, I wanted to see how you get from point A to point B. Is it just Destiny with, armor
Third person
outfits?
Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, is it 4-player
That's-
Destiny? I mean, there was.
That's what they're selling it
I
as.
really got a vibe that was very Destiny from it.
Yeah,
to be
I
honest.
did
like
too.
Destiny because they're being so vague on what they're showing it. They're not trying to show you how it's unique, really. It's just like, look, it's Destiny, except you can fly around like Iron Man. It's about all they've shown us. all these
Right.
years.
Last year,
It's
there was so
nothing
much
wrong
hype coming out about Anthem, and I thought that I must have missed something because I just was not feeling any of those levels of excitement. And then watching this conference, and I'm sure we'll touch on it a little bit later, but at the end of the conference when they showed the 4 minutes of gameplay, I was just like, it looks pretty, but
Yeah.
nothing new, nothing super exciting to me. I mean, I thought it was cool transitioning from Sky to Under the Sea, but like, I don't show me more of the single player stuff. They said that you should be able to play it single player, but how is that going to work when everybody's affecting the world? How is the story going to be, affected by
Yeah,
that?
and no PvP. There's no PvP
Yeah.
on it. At least at launch, there's no PvP,
Yeah.
which was interesting. I don't know. I mean, they had so many people. They had what, 3 people sitting there on stage, and it was the most. It was the most intelligent sounding interview I've ever heard in my life, or the best practice, or the best rehearsed interview I'd ever heard in my life, because
Oh, yeah, it was definitely not off the cuff.
it was not off the cuff. The way it started out was the way it sounded. It was going to be was, oh, this is going to be off the cuff. They're going to sit and talk about la 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 la, and I'm like,
Well, I wouldn't expect that at a thing because you have a controlled message you want to do. So it's not going to be the same as like if these people had come to like a live stream stage and people are asking them their own questions and they're still media trained so they can only answer certain things. But this is totally their own event, so they're going to only say exactly what they want to say. So I wouldn't have expected it
Yeah.
to be.
Well, I didn't get to watch it
Yeah.
live. I actually watched the replay of it
Yeah.
because we were out. But when I came home before I watched the replay of it, there was a lot of people on Twitter and stuff. Oh, this looks great. This is great. What's your favorite class? And blah, 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 blah. So, immediately I start going, whoa, maybe they really showed some stuff. And then I watched it, and then I went,
They didn't show any of
they
that.
didn't show any of that. I mean,
talked
there's
about it
some
a little
pieces
bit.
missing.
There's some cool stuff in there to pull from it, but they stretched it out over so much time that it loses any impact, right?
yeah.
If they just shown the gameplay and then like another like trailer thing and not had any talking about it, I think it might have come off a little bit better than it did. But having a bunch of people talking about it and then looping the same exact footage
Over and over.
while
Yeah.
they're talking,
Mhm.
makes it feel really long. Even if you look at it, it's like, oh, it's only been a couple of minutes. It feels like it's been 10 already.
Yeah,
Right?
Nick was sitting there watching it with me, and I looked at her. I went, "How many times are they going to loop this same video over?" I said, "I've seen it 7 times in the 5 minutes this guy's been talking." And I mean, it all sounds great. It sounds wonderful, and I hope it's just as good as it is.
What they needed
what
to
they
do
need.
was take all of the stuff that they were trying to communicate by that little sit-down thing, put that in a gameplay demo to show off things, and then show us it while you're doing it, not just like people sitting on a stage. You could have a little bit of that, or have that as a separate thing, not in your show, right? Have it
Right.
as like an after thing where it's like, hey, come listen to us talk more details.
Yeah,
Honestly, a scripted gameplay video would have shown more than
Yeah.
what they were able to show us there
Yeah.
in that little bit they played.
and it was just a level, and that all they did was just walk through, shoot a couple things, shoot a boss, and then that was it.
We
I mean,
flew.
that was it.
We unloaded a very generic sounding and looking machine gun into a beast, and then finally, when things got interesting, we're just gonna go ahead and cut right there. We're not gonna let you see that.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this cool bulbous boss-looking character. Nope. See ya, logo time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know. I have faith in the story because it's BioWare and they're usually very good at telling a story. It will be
We'll
interesting.
see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting though to see. Bungie was very good at telling stories too, and we see how kind
Yeah.
of Destiny's kind of went.
I think BioWare's leagues past where even Bungie was in Halo days, but the problem is how do you structure that into this different type of game
Right.
that's been made before? They're
Yeah.
not used to doing so. You can't lean on the same exact things you've done in past games.
Yeah,
So I think that they can tell good stories, but it remains to be seen whether they can actually do it in this framework.
yeah,
And they haven't shown us anything to really say, hey, look, no, guys, we got it. We promise. It's just this kind of semi-generic look at it. Look at our cool sci-fi game where you kind of look like Iron Man, sort of.
Yeah. sort of mechish.
And so this year they don't
or-
have the benefit of like it being new and fresh like they did last year. This time it's like, hey, you showed us about the same kind of stuff, guys.
Yeah.
Is there anything more, please?
I don't know. It just seems very strange that game's coming out in February and we haven't seen a whole lot about it. I
I
mean,
only
have a
thing-
strong
yeah.
feeling it's getting pushed.
The only thing that pulls me back from that is like, well, EA has always sucked at showing games the
Yeah.
past like 4 or 5 years, so maybe it's just like it's a bad trailer for a movie kind of situation.
yeah, it could be. And yes,
Maybe the
Carson,
game will be
no.
fine.
Carson said no Skate 4. Nope, no Skate 4, but Microsoft did have something at their press conference. It's kind of filling that void if you have an Xbox One. But
Yeah,
we'll talk
maybe.
about that later.
We'll talk about
Then there was Battlefield 5.
This is another example of EA not knowing how to show stuff.
I mean,
Hmm.
they
Yeah,
came out and they
okay,
talked.
Trailer, that's
and-
a gameplay trailer, but not really. I've seen much more after it by seeing actual gameplay
Yeah.
of people there at the event putting up their videos and talking about all the stuff that has way more information in it than that stupid trailer was.
Yeah, I don't know. That trailer
It makes
was.
me wonder if they fired their trailer team because up till now, Battlefield games have had really good trailers that showcase stuff. Like think of Battlefield 4, whatever the Levolution stuff that was in all the trailers, first ones. It's like, whoa, that's cool, and it's showing off some stuff about the game. These just trailers so far for this game, they look pretty, but they're not really telling you a whole lot. Or at
Right.
least
I
not
I think a lot of that
overtly.
lends to the way that the camera was working in the trailers. They were just so sporadic and shaky that
Yeah.
they really wanted to make it feel like you were in the explosions, but it's not good to
Mm.
show off what they're trying to, present
The
as far as
trailer
gameplay.
they showed at the Microsoft press conference of it, I thought was better than what they showed at the EA.
Because
press
that was
conference.
another thing, like, hey, we've got war stories again. See more at Microsoft conference. Like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
It's
sure.
like, then what's the point? Why are you here? Why did they fly you all the way from Stockholm or where for you to?
I mean, it's because I guess EA figures, no one cares about our event anyway. We might as well take some money from Microsoft to show our stuff there.
Yeah.
Who
If
knows?
they really thought that, they wouldn't have split off and created their own event, however many years ago that was.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
EA is just big enough that they don't have to care.
Yep, pretty much. Battlefront 2 is going to be getting new modes. They're going to do
Nobody cares.
a Clone War setting, new heroes with General Grievous, Dooku, Obi-Wan,
The
Anakin.
biggest thing I got out of the Battlefront was how apologetic they were.
Yes, they were very, very apologetic, and they said that they were
Honestly,
going to
they
support the
should
game another
not-
year. So,
Yeah.
Hmm.
They should not have had Battlefront 2 here at all, period.
well, they
Yeah, I agree.
Only people that care are the ones who are already playing the game, so they're already going to know about it.
The problem is they knew people wanted to hear and see Star Wars,
Yeah.
and
they
we
still
now
had
know
nothing.
they were not ready to show another Star Wars game.
Yeah,
No,
they
no,
couldn't
they were
even
not.
come up with one. Let's go talk to Vince Zampella in the audience, and he'll tell us the title of the game they've been working on. You couldn't even do like a teaser of a logo by E3.
No.
Like, you know it's
God,
coming up.
Yeah.
That interview was so bad, I couldn't tell if they were being purposefully awkward or if he really was just that clueless.
I think he was drunk. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm not sure that it's that. I think that it's
You know-
another thing of, hey, we're trying to make something sound sort of off the cuff, but it's really scripted. The same thing that you have like the gameplay trailers that have like fake comms in them that sound so bad.
Division 2.
Where it's like, hey, I'm just talking to you, but we totally wrote this before the show.
Yeah,
Props to Andrea for not
Yeah.
losing herself there.
yeah, really. Command
It's
and
gotta be
Conquer.
super
Oh,
tough.
yeah, I can only imagine. Command and Conquer Rivals for mobile, iOS and Android. Apparently, you can play it now.
Pre-alpha available
Pre-alpha
now on Android.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
which look pretty cool if you like those kind of games.
I mean, if you're
But
not
it
gonna make
didn't
an
need to be
actual-
shown at the conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, well, it seems like EA likes to show a mobile thing every year for whatever reason.
And apparently Microsoft
these
does
days.
too, and I'm sure
But,
Sony's probably going to have something too.
This doesn't look like. I mean, other than it having sort of a Command and Conquer skin on it, it's not really Command and Conquer.
Yeah, it's
Like-
not. It's more like
let's see, that might be interesting. Who knows? It's another time.
It could be fine, but it's like, all right, I'd be way more excited if you said
Behind a
new
paywall.
Command and Conquer game
Yeah.
is coming.
it's almost
Give
like
me
one of
money.
those Star Wars games. I forget what the name of that mobile Star Wars game is. It looked almost like that, and it's almost a hybrid mobile.
Oh yeah, I doubt it's something that's completely new we've never seen
Oh,
before.
I'm sure not.
It's a mobile game. There's at least 20 already.
Yeah, at least, if not more. FIFA 19 comes out June. If you're into soccer, it's FIFA with World Cup and Championship League license this time. So there you go.
Free trial of FIFA 18 available now.
Yep.
Probably sell well.
Oh, it'll sell well. It's always the
Always
best-selling
does well.
game in the world. So what can you say about that? Madden. They showed a little trailer of Madden, which all we know is franchise mode's getting some new additions that they took away before. NBA Live, something about I don't know, like create your player and. It's basketball.
This is when I fell
These
away.
are all the
and
times
stopped
that if you
watching.
don't,
Yeah.
if you don't play the EA Sports games, you tune out, and if you do, you're like, oh, I know exactly what they're talking about because I've played this every single year, so
Yeah.
I know all these features.
I play Madden from time to time, but even when they start talking about it, I'm like, it's Madden. I mean, I don't think that anything new is going to be added to the football game. I could be wrong, but Sea of
This time, instead of a football, we're going to be throwing around an egg.
Yeah, there you go. Just to be different. Sea of Solitude was announced. It's a EA original. It's about a lonely girl who's manages to turn herself into a monster. And it's like this flooded post-apocalyptic world.
It's a really cool looking indie game
Yeah.
that suffers from awkward EA presentation.
Oh
The
my
game itself
goodness, I
looks
felt so
really cool.
bad for her.
Yeah.
It almost felt like she's up there. They forced her to talk because they need someone to talk for these because
Yeah.
this is our formula. We have to have our cool indie darling that people will fawn over because look, they're so real. Except it felt way more forced this time than it has. in the past.
Yeah, it really
Almost
did.
like he didn't want to be there.
And when she,
I mean, it seemed like it was such a
just
personal
nervous.
game to her that it
Yeah.
just wasn't comfortable for her to talk about.
Or at least in this setting of in front of a crowd and live streaming to however many people at a time, it's kind of like, okay, I'd rather talk to you one on one versus presenting it.
well, and speaking
It-
of
And it could just
uncomfortable,
be, it's not her English isn't her first language, maybe, or
Yeah.
she's not good at talking to people, or whatever it might be. It just didn't, feel.
It didn't at all. And Unravel 2 was like that
Right,
too. They
yeah.
announced that, and that one guy got up there on stage, and he was very awkward too. I was like, oh man, I feel so sorry for him, especially when he
Did you see
walked
his
off.
wave?
Yeah,
Is it the same guy that was the first Unraveled? I assume.
I don't
I think it
remember.
was.
I'm going to
I
assume it
forgot.
was. Yeah, I didn't look it
Yeah.
up either, but I'm assuming it was. But I mean, but that game looks super cool, and it's available now to play. It has drop-in, drop-out couch co-op. It doesn't have online co-op, but it's couch co-op. But I mean, it was really cool because now you've got two little
Two
yarn
Yarnies.
toys, Yarnies, yeah, and they're attached.
Red and blue.
So you can carry one of them to play single player, and then when you two-player, they come out, but they're still attached, so you do swinging and stuff. I mean, it looks like a really, really cool game. I like the first one. I didn't play a ton of it, but I played some of it because I think it was... I either played it when I had EA Access, or maybe it was free on PlayStation Plus at some time. I don't
I
remember.
think it might have been free on PlayStation Plus.
I don't
Was that a
remember,
PS3 game? I don't remember. Or was it
It was
4?
an EA
Uh,
game.
it was an
So,
EA
no,
game,
don't
so I think it was just a PS4. I don't
It was
think it was
pretty much
PS3.
everywhere.
Yeah, but I don't remember it was so long ago. And then, of course, we talked a little bit. They did
Not
announce,
that long ago. It's only a couple of years, I think. It's
Well, I know,
not that
but-
long ago.
but it's long enough that I don't
Old
remember.
man brain don't remember.
Yeah. They announced Star Wars Fallen Jedi, or Jedi Fallen Order. That was
And
a
that's
very that we that's it. They
That's
pretty
it.
much
You got, hey, it's vaguely
Here I am.
happening in
Ooh,
this
Star
time.
Wars game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe the only thing they've confirmed is it's between episodes 3 and 4.
and it's dark.
Yeah.
It's going to be dark.
Yeah.
You get to wield a lightsaber, and
All right,
the
guys.
title.
Here's how you do the exact same thing, but not boring. You make a trailer where it's all really dark, and a lightsaber ignites, and you
That's
see
it.
like a
That's all you gotta do.
silhouette, and then a logo.
Yeah.
Done.
Or just some concept art like they've always had with all the other
No, not even
games
that.
or something.
Don't even do
you know.
that.
I mean,
And
yeah,
it's
they had
supposedly coming next year, I think is what he said.
late 2019.
So
fall
yeah,
2019.
They got to have
away
something
at
by
least.
now.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
They're
you
just
know,
not ready to talk about it
your
yet.
Trailer. So you don't have to. You literally would be showing nothing from the game. You'd be showing a lightsaber and a Star Warsy looking logo, because you know you can't make it look all weird. It's got to look Star Warsy, so it's not going to take that much to design.
Because I mean, how long ago was it that EA bought Respawn? Year and a half, 2
I don't
years.
remember.
I don't remember either. But it hasn't been too long. So
Right before Titanfall 2, right?
Right, yeah,
Was it before
So-
or after. I think it was
About 2
after.
years?
After, yeah,
I
after.
think it was after.
So not even 2 years,
Yeah.
or maybe coming up on.
Maybe coming up on 2 years. I don't remember exactly. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, I mean that whole thing was like really weird too. It was just that whole press conference was just
I don't know if they're just
Very weird.
if it's like old man or old uncle syndrome, where like I'm trying to be cool but I'm failing because I don't know how to be hip. If it's that, or if they just really have no clue what they're doing. It's just their presentation is always setting the bar low the past few years. We
Yeah.
start off E3 with a really low bar from EA that makes it easy for anyone else to be, hey, well, it's better
You
than
just have
EA
to
at
do
least.
this much better.
I never watched the EA one live because I end up fast forwarding through a bunch of stuff. So I'll
Yeah.
watch it
Yeah.
afterwards and catch the replay because it's like as soon as they start, that was the thing when they said, "Oh, we're going to devote 20 minutes." I was like, "Okay, this video has 20 more minutes to play, so they're going to talk about Anthem for 20 minutes. This is going to be amazing." And it's concept art over and over, and this same
Well, they
little trailer
talked for
thing.
20 minutes, but said maybe
Nothing.
about 1 minute's worth of actual content. It's a whole lot of talking and saying nothing.
Well, my buddy in North Carolina immediately sent me a text message after it was over, like, "Did you watch the press conference?" "Nope, I'm out. I'm busy. I haven't yet." He's like, "Well, be sure you're sitting down when you watch it." I'm like, "Is this that exciting? I've seen Twitter buzz about, Anthem." He's like, "No, because you're going to fall asleep." I'm like, "Of course I am. Why should I expect anything less?" So I laid down in my comfy bed, had my iPhone, and was scrubbing every 10 seconds going, "Oh, this looks interesting. I'll watch this. Oh,
Then he fell
no.
asleep
Oh, they're talking about
after 10
FIFA?
minutes.
Never mind. I don't care. Oh, you're talking about basketball. Oh, you're talking about football. Okay. Oh, now you're talking about a Star Wars game. It's not coming out. Oh, that was terrible. Let me just move on." But I tell you, who seems to have the press conference thing down, and that's Microsoft that's what we're moving on to now. They
Well, we missed out on the services that they announced.
Oh,
So their
that's
new
right. I forgot
streaming
about
stuff.
their new weird streaming thing to get around not having EA access on PlayStation 4 is pretty much what it is. It's a weird streaming thing that I don't think anybody is. I don't know. Everybody's pushing this streaming stuff
Well,
all of
like,
a sudden.
I believe it's going to cost $100 per month, and that's because you're getting all their new games available to stream, and one new game $60. So I mean, it's
$100.
I mean, it makes sense, but that is going
No,
to
it
be a
doesn't
huge
make
No, that
force
doesn't
for
make
people
sense.
to buy.
100 a
Oh.
year, maybe. 100 a month, no way in hell.
Yeah.
No.
Now I know the
Bucks a
new.
year?
I know the
Not for
new.
streaming.
The new EA access is $100 a year, and you get all the games on PC.
Mhm.
You get them day one, so you get Madden. You get, they're bringing Madden back to PC. They're bringing FIFA to PC. They're bringing all their games to PC, and for $100 a year, you can play their entire library day one releases on PC for $100 a year. But the streaming
But
service,
isn't this allowing you to stream anywhere, anytime,
yeah,
any
you can
platform,
any
blah,
platform,
blah,
anything like that.
all the
Um,
games?
I don't care about your games that much.
Yeah, I don't either. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to see here. I'm looking at just to see, because man, if it's $100, they might as well just shut that crap down right now, because it's not going to happen for $100 a month. That is insane. You'd be better off to go out and buy just the game.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Honestly,
Because
then
it wouldn't be streaming.
you can choose to
Yeah.
see what you want.
What is this? What are they calling it? Origins Access?
Nope,
Or-
that's
'cause that's
that's
the
the
PC.
100. That's the PC thing I was just talking about. This is the
Okay.
EA's cloud
EA
gaming.
Access is on Xbox. That same exact thing is on PC, but it's called Origin Access because Origin is their store on PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's if
But it's the same thing, pretty much.
if I was a PC player and an EA game player, I think I would do that because you'll get Anthem day one, you'll get Madden day one. If you're bought into that EA library,
Battlefield.
yeah. So it's going to be that's online Origin Access Premier is $15 a month, or you can pay $100 a year. So $100 a year is pretty good.
That's not bad.
I mean, like I say though,
But if it's streaming, then that's no go.
yeah,
that's not. that
that's
defeats
not
the purpose.
that's a whole different. That's not the streaming thing. Let's see, cloud. Let me find this
So
real quick.
180 a
'Cause-
year. It's not bad if you think you're going to play at least 3 to 4 AAA titles and you want to have them ASAP instead of waiting.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Okay, so yeah, I mean, EA bringing cloud gaming to Origin Access. It's $15 a month or $99 a year.
Okay, so maybe I misheard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And I was
not
getting them
$100 a
combined.
month. Yeah, this
I was
is
like, man.
well,
That's
actually.
expensive.
You know what? It doesn't have a price on here. That is, it doesn't say. It just says they're streaming devices. There's nothing on here about price. Down in later on down here, then it says that the EA Access is $14.99 or $99 a year, but there is no pricing on the
Yeah.
the
But
cloud
is this
streaming
just
thing.
some streaming thing? You're not actually downloading games.
Right. That the streaming
So
thing
therefore,
is.
no, that's trash. No one's ever gotten that to work perfectly right. It's not worth it. Not for new games, for sure. Like, maybe it's something you've already played and you're like, oh, I just want to mess around a bit. Maybe. But there's
Oh,
just
you
so many
pop-ups.
problems, like, even if you have good enough internet for it.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is I was reading an article, I think just a day before the EA press conference, and I think it was from an Ubisoft employee. And they were saying, oh, yeah, I think there'll be a next generation of consoles, but that's going to be the last one. After that, it's going to be all streaming all the time. And then EA comes out with this whole new plan, and I'm just like, that's a little too
No.
convenient.
Yeah.
Someone's trying to talk here.
Yeah.
But they were saying that type of stuff last time around, like, oh, the next ones are going to be the last ones. They
Yeah, but if they're making these many pushes, it's going to be like cutting cable, but now it's just going to be cutting your console box.
I tell you,
Yeah, but it's going to be the same thing as, say, loot boxes, where at a certain point it'll hit either people will ignore it because it won't catch on, or people will get angry by it and it'll hit a boiling point at a certain point and they'll have to pull it back.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
I'm in the team of
There's enough
having
people
home
that
consoles, but
don't have good enough internet for it. There's no way that it's going to take off.
Well, that's it too. And I've done some of the PS Now stuff. Did the trial and the beta and stuff like that, and it worked. It worked really good. It worked really, really well, and I never had any issues with it. The saves were cool because then if I bought the game physically on PlayStation 3, I could just pop in the disc, go online, download the save, keep on going. I mean, it worked really well. It didn't work enough for me to abandon everything and just say I'm
traditional
going streaming
But that
all
also
the
could
time.
just be you happen to be lucky enough to be close enough to one of their servers that it does work well, but somebody else it wouldn't work because they're further away or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so hit and miss, and there's no way to tell without just trying it yourself if it's going to work.
Yeah, and that's why I always tell everybody is do the beta. I live in West Virginia, and it worked pretty well for me. But
Yeah.
if I don't live out in the sticks either, so but I don't know. The whole subscription thing was cool on the PC. Like I said, for the download and this and that. The
Yeah.
streaming, I'm not interested in
It's
that.
a bunch of the bigger gaming companies wanting a subscription type revenue and trying to say, hey, look, Netflix gets a bunch for that type of content. Maybe we can do the same
Well,
with the technology.
and
Just doesn't quite support it, right?
You know who does the subscription gaming service well is Microsoft. That Game Pass is fan-frickin-tastic because I download the game and I don't have to worry about anything else. It's $10 a month. I'm good to go. When State of Decay came out, downloaded it, played it, went, it's all right, and I was good. I didn't go spend $60 on it. I didn't do anything like that. But you know what? I've got it. All these games that I can play whenever I want. If they would all do the model of Game Pass, I would be down for that. Because I can download it, play it when I finish it, delete it, I can go on. Download the next game and go like that. Day one releases, I got them, and they're good. I mean, and $10 a month to me is a good value for me not to have, and I don't buy a first-party Microsoft game anymore. I mean, I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, if their output is enough to support it, and if all of the Sony and Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, if they all had $10 a month, that still would add up.
It would.
Be worth it if you have the time to play all of those games.
Exactly.
At a certain point, you'll be picking. I don't like their games as much. I'll just pick and choose.
Well, exactly, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
I can pick and choose. I could always, you can sub and unsub whenever you want. So it's like, well, they're going to do $10, and then if there's a dry spell of no first-party games coming out that I don't want from Microsoft, I can just cancel it. And then, here comes Forza Horizon. Let me resub it so I can play it for a little while, and then when I get tired of it, I'll unsub. I don't know though. That's going to be a really hard thing to get over, just because.
I think it's something that they're putting out there to test and see how much it will get as a thing. Like, okay, we'll see how many people we get on it, and if it grows bigger, we can push it more, maybe.
I don't remember. It was
knows?
over 1 million people so far have done the Game Pass on Xbox. I read the other
No,
day.
not Game Pass. I'm talking about EA's.
Oh, I know. Yeah, EA's thing. I'm not. EA don't have enough content to I don't know. Anyway.
I know where
Well,
you're
it's,
going with
it's,
that.
it's this weird thing that they're fighting themselves a bit. So you have they're trying to push all these games as service games, where it's like, hey, play something like a Destiny or the Division or any of these games where you spend a lot of time with one game. But also, here's this service that you can pay to get all of our games that you may or may not care about because you want to do this other thing. So it's
Right.
kind of like butting heads with yourself.
The EA Access thing was cool on Xbox because it was only $25 a year, and as like I said, as a casual Madden player or a casual NHL player, I liked it because then I could just play a few games of Madden or I could play a few games of hockey, and it's like I'm only spending $25 instead of spending $120 on 2 games that I'll play for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then when I try to get rid of them, they're $5 because the new one's already out.
Yeah.
But they're not day one. Those games aren't day one. You have to wait usually till at the end of the season or something like that. So I don't know. It's in a real funky place right now with stuff like that, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, so let's talk about Microsoft. Their press conference was this afternoon. They had like 50 games. I believe 18 of them were exclusive. And I think 15 of them were console launch exclusives, which means they launched on Microsoft first.
Before we start, though, the most important thing from Xbox is obviously Lord Hot Monkey.
Lord Hot
That
Monkey.
T-shirt distracted me so much.
I-
There's in the middle. There's Phil Spencer in the aisle, like in the between, like the rows of seats. Like, look, I'm not on the stage. I'm
Yeah.
personable with you, like that kind of a shot.
Yeah, so
And
I remember.
the screen left, there's some dude that the back of his shirt must be like his gamer tag or whatever said Lord Hot Monkey, and I immediately was not paying attention to anything else other than that shirt.
Never even saw it. Never saw it. Didn't. That one flew right by me.
It made me laugh.
I was so,
Anyway.
for the first time ever, I was really sad that I was stuck at work during this conference. After I started hearing some of the things that were popping out on it,
It was
man, I
good.
could not focus
Yeah.
on work anymore.
It was
I would
really
say
good.
overall it was good, but I don't think that was enough to completely like propel Microsoft to be like, oh, they're gonna win E3. I just thought it was sort of solid.
I think
enough.
personally, I think it's their best conference ever.
I mean, it had the
Um,
most games they've ever had.
It's they're definitely speaking to me. You know, I don't have an Xbox anymore. I sold it, and there's a lot of things here that I'm interested in.
The thing that tempers it for me, though, is a lot of the stuff they showed was not an Xbox exclusive game.
Right.
They were all
True.
multi-platform, so you could play them
True.
wherever. So yeah, it's cool that you see this, but you may not be needing an Xbox for that.
Right. I mean, there were a
Agreed.
few, but not a lot. You know.
Yeah.
But well, let's hit the top. First was the Awesome Adventure of Captain Spirit.
This is in alphabetical order. It is not.
Yes, it is, and that's the way I'm just gonna take it
Yeah,
in alphabetical
that's
order
fine.
and skip
That
around
makes
because I'll lose my place if I don't. This is a Life is Strange Life
I
is
was
Strange
right.
spinoff.
So when I was watching it, I was thinking this totally got to be strange because of just the look of it and the music that they picked. And then when it's had the different title, I was like, oh, well, maybe it's not. And
It said
the-
Life. It flashed a Life is
Did
Strange
it?
logo
I
on
must
there.
have glanced
It was
away
really
and
quick.
missed
It was very
Yeah.
fast.
I believe
'Cause
it is
the-
in the world of Life is Strange.
Well, yeah, the
Yeah.
father character looks like the drug dealer from the Life is Strange game to me.
I don't know. It's free
I'd have
right
to watch it
now
again.
on Xbox. You could get it free on Xbox till the end of June. So I went ahead and downloaded it. I haven't been able to play it yet. Is
Is
that?
it up there now? I thought
Yep.
it was available a little bit later.
Nope.
so they must have
It's
put it up.
already up there because I
Cool.
right before we started to record I
It
added
looked
it
really
and let
neat.
it download.
I was getting a little bit of a kind of like a oh crap, I just lost it. Stupid brain. Calvin and Hobbes through the lens
Yeah.
of Life is Strange, kind of a vibe to it.
Yeah, you're right.
All these cool imaginary superpowers of your imagination when you're a kid. Except it doesn't look like a Calvin and Hobbes cartoon, but he's still like he's playing with a snowman. Even
Uh-huh.
to the point where it's like that's classic Calvin and Hobbes. How many strips had a snowman in them from there?
Yep. And that looked really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to play it. It'll be a quick play too. I'm sure it's probably no longer than an
Probably.
episode of Life is Strange 2.5 hours, however long it take you to get through one of those. They announced a new Battletoads game coming to Xbox.
I'm all about this.
they didn't
You
Come
know,
on.
this game was totally, hey guys, we have 49 games, but we want to get to 50, and we don't have anything to show here. Let's just
Yeah.
make a trailer for
There
that.
was nothing
It's
to
gonna
show,
be
but
2.5D, hand-drawn animation. Let's
Yeah.
go, guys. Let's
Yeah,
do
but
this.
They didn't
It's
show
gonna be
any of
just
it. It
like
was all text.
Battletoads Arcade.
It's okay. It's
yeah,
coming.
It's
It's all I needed.
Yeah, it's okay. That's all it needed. I didn't
Listen,
need to see-
I remade the first level of Battletoads in Little Big Planets level creator. Like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to buy a new Xbox just for Battletoads. But
Well, you won't
maybe
have
I'll
to.
borrow somebody's.
If you have a PC that runs it, it'll probably be out on PC as well.
Good call. Good call.
You know, I mean, it's that's the thing to keep in mind, and that's something that I said to one of the guys on Twitter. We were talking. I said that was something that Microsoft last year really pushed. You know, if you buy this game digitally, you'll get it on PC too. This year, it was very, it comes out on PC, so we don't have to. We don't have to
you'd see
keep
the
telling
logo
you
there
that.
for like Windows.
Yeah, they had two
some of the
little lights
trailers,
on the
but,
sides
yeah.
that said, PC, and if it wasn't, then they didn't have the PC on. They only
Yeah.
had the Xbox,
But
which
they
that
weren't
was cool.
pushing it as a feature this time around.
No, and that
Yeah.
was pretty
We're
cool.
thinking it's
I was
there,
glad
but
that
like
and
shoving it down your throat.
at this point, everybody ought to know that by now. So that was that. But I'd like that. I thought that took a lot off of the press
Maybe
conference.
that's what I'll do. I'll build a new PC that'll still have Windows 10 instead of Windows 7, so I can actually get to the Microsoft store.
Yeah. Cuphead DLC. They showed off a little bit of it. Apparently, it's getting a new playable character and some new bosses. It'll be first on Xbox, and then it will be on the PC version. They,
Looks really good.
yeah, it does. It looks
Yeah,
really
good for
cool.
them.
They showed a trailer for Crackdown 3. with Terry.
We knew it
with-
was already delayed.
Yeah.
I
Um,
started laughing at it as soon as it started, and I was thinking they should put a tagline on here that's like "Crackdown, soon to be delayed again."
Yeah, and it's really not delayed that far. It said February is what it said the release date
Yeah.
was on it. So I mean, it's only delayed probably
I mean,
2 months, maybe if
If
that.
Terry Crews talks as much in the game as he does in this trailer, then I totally want to play
I'm in.
Crackdown 3 because that'll be a blast.
Yeah, I'm in. Game Pass. It's day
The
one
game
Game Pass.
itself
I'm in.
just looks like a fancier version of the previous two Crackdown games.
And
It
I'm
doesn't
okay
look
with
like
that.
anything different.
Yeah,
Which is like, sure, I want a rocket launcher that shoots exploding rubber ducks. Yes.
absolutely.
I
I'll
don't know what
take it.
people are expecting from this game. Like the original Crackdown, I'm a big fan, but I mean it was a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10 game. Like
It was
that's
a
what
game
I expect this to be.
It was a game to put like a Halo beta on.
Exactly, and
Right?
Yep.
it just happened to be fun.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
a good time. I enjoyed it, and I'll probably enjoy the third one for
The
what it
problem
is.
with it is there's been so many more like big games since that first one
Yeah.
that if they don't change it up or streamline it, then it'll feel dated. But it'll probably be fun.
Absolutely, Matt. It's Saints Row with good guys. That's a good that's a good description of it.
And
Except you
like,
jump around. Yeah, I mean, it's
good guys. It's not like straight ahead good guys. You're pretty kind of at the very least gray area, at least in the first Crackdown.
yeah. They ended the press conference with a thanks, see you later. Then all of a sudden they had like a little hack thing, and it was, of course, a trailer for Cyberpunk
Best
2077.
thing all day.
Good looking trailer.
Yeah, it
There's
looked
a
really
hit-
cool.
Have you seen the hidden message in it? There's a freeze frame of an actual letter from CD Projekt.
Yes, if
Red.
you look, I tweeted it out. It is so cool, and there was actually in the one part where there was numbers going across the screen. Those are actually digital download codes for the Xbox version of Witcher 3 that a bunch of people got because they freeze framed the thing and
pretty
went through.
cool.
There must have been 30 or 40 of them on there. Yeah, that
Wow.
looked really cool. I'd like to have seen some gameplay, actual gameplay, but the trailer enough made me go, I'm all right
I
with it.
mean, think of it this way: this is a first showing trailer for a game.
Yeah.
We just happened to know that it was being made for 5 years. But if this came out of nowhere and this was the first look at a game, you would have been like, "Holy crap!" what
Yeah,
is
it
this
was
thing?"
stunning. I really liked the art style.
Yeah.
Yes,
the vibe of the
it's
game
still that way.
totally
because it
resonates
looks
with me.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I
It's
just
more
want to know what the
about-
gameplay is.
It's
You know,
more
I want
about
to know how it
the
plays.
world that we have is what this is, and then later they'll get into more details. Okay, here's what you play as. This is more just to show, hey, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, yeah, it looked really, really cool. I'm very excited. I've been excited since they first mentioned it, however long ago.
Well, that first little teaser trailer that has like the woman with like the blade arms and the like
Yeah.
bullet time stuff was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I knew it was a while ago, and I couldn't remember how long ago it was. But I even liked it then.
CD Projekt Red, until they mess up, can do no wrong. Like their heart's in the right place to this point. Unless that something changes with that studio, pretty much anything they make, I'm gonna at least
Yep.
give it a chance.
Absolutely. Devil May Cry 5 was announced.
Yes, guys, I have
looks
been
so
waiting 10 years for this game. I am the biggest Devil May Cry fan.
I'm gonna.
I am so ready for this game.
Here
Oh
you
my
go.
god, I've watched this trailer already like 4 times.
Here you
Let's just
go.
break this whole thing down.
Let me give you my real quick opinion on the game. Meh. It's meh.
And you're out.
Dude.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. So
I think-
it opens up.
I think
No.
With Nero.
I think Bayonetta does it better.
Well, that's the thing.
You're fired.
Oh, fighting
it
word.
It looks like they're perhaps taking some cues from Bayonetta and being a little bit more modern than, say, Devil
They
May
are.
Cry 4.
Devil
that
May
was
Cry
however
was
many
one of
years
the
ago
first
now.
games.
Yeah.
Where I remember playing it.
It
I'm,
looks
I'm
good.
just
My
so happy
hands
it's not
hurt.
DMC 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
DMC
Yeah.
is fine, but they were never going to make a sequel to that.
No.
I would hope not.
No.
But
This
I
one
mean,
takes place
it's
many
good.
years later. There's a lot of speculation that it's going to be after DMC 2. At the end of the trailer, Dante comes riding in on his motorcycle. If you
Which
remember,
you-
in DMC 2, he rode into hell on a motorcycle. So many cool things going on. It's running on the Resident Evil engine, so they have full customization of everything going on here. It's got a new, more realistic art style, less anime-inspired. Man,
That's what
Yes.
was weird about it, because the start of that trailer, the text that pops up, made me think Resident Evil for some reason. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's just because it's the font Capcom uses.
I mean, if you remember, the
Or
original
what it
DMC was a Resident Evil game
So-
in pre-production.
And then when it started going a little bit further and seeing more, I was like, nope, this isn't Resident Evil at all.
As soon as it flashed up Capcom, I knew what it was. I was like, it's
I was not
but
expecting this at
This
Microsoft's
game was
conference.
rumored
This
quite a bit.
yeah, it's
so-
been
It was
rumored
leaked all
for a
over the
while,
place.
Yeah.
So I knew I was guessing every game before it came up. But yeah, I mean, Devil May Cry's fine. I don't care for it anymore. I haven't liked it since 3.
4 was really good. 4
I-
was really good.
I couldn't get into it. That was when I kind of checked out of the series and went, I'm kind of done with it. But I never was a huge fan to begin with. You know, like I say, I played it some on the PS2 1 and 2, but
Yeah.
after that it was kind of like, I mean, I'm glad that it's coming out, looks cool, no ARM. You know, my only complaint with the way Microsoft did things was at the end of the trailers, before the trailer was like completely over, they would always pan out and you couldn't
Yeah.
see the release date, and I couldn't see. It was like, don't do that. I'm sitting too far
It's
away
coming
from the
spring,
TV.
Is that because
2019.
you're watching on your tiny phone screen?
No. I was watching on the big 4K TV, and it
Yeah.
was just like, what are y'all doing? No, I actually watched it on my Xbox One through Mixer because that was the way.
So since it's not on here, and this is as good a segue as any because Ninja Theory made DMC, what about all the studios that Microsoft was saying, look, we bought
Yeah.
a bunch of people?
They bought 5 of them. It was Ninja Theory.
Some of them make sense. Ninja Theory was the weird out there one, though. Like, I never would have guessed that. But they actually have on Ninja Theory's YouTube, they put out a video shortly afterwards about here's why we went with it.
Wait, they
It's
bought Ninja Theory? I missed all this.
Microsoft bought several different studios, and Ninja Theory was one of them. Some of the other
Wow.
ones were.
I saw a bunch of-
They bought.
So the Forza Horizon guys, they bought that.
Okay, hang on. I got the list here. They
Okay.
got 5.
You got the list?
Yeah, I got the list. They bought 5. Undead Labs, the team that did State of Decay.
Yeah.
Playground Games, like you said, that did the Forza Horizon series. Ninja Theory.
probably the big one.
I can never say that. Compulsion Games. They did We Happy Few. And the Initiative. They're an entirely brand new studio built from the
Yeah.
ground up in Santa
That sounds
Monica.
like one that they, yeah.
That's
I saw people
crazy.
on Twitter were cranky because it was like, okay, so you bought 5 new studios, but what about the ones you bought before? How come we haven't seen anything from them? It was interesting to see that.
I mean, things take time.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going
But-
to see anything new from these guys for probably
Of
quite
Look
a
at
while.
Ninja Theory,
Anyway.
though. That's probably the biggest ball.
Ninja
Yeah, that's
Theory-
so weird. They've previously
Well-
partnered with Sony with Heavenly Sword
Well,
and
here's
and
what they
launched-
said on their little explanation video. They're going to history. Their first game ever was on the original Xbox. And they've done some other ones. But what happened is Microsoft reached out to them. They talked to them a lot and basically like, what would you want? And so Ninja Theory basically was like, we want to do whatever we want and be able to do, gave them their whole like pie in the sky wish list. And Microsoft said, okay, why don't you talk to some of our other studios? They did that. And so they decided, all right, sure. So basically, they'll have Microsoft resources to kind of continue doing what they were going to do anyway. So now they can kind of expand and do some of the stuff that they wanted to goals-wise a little bit quicker than if they had to do it just all
Yeah.
on their own.
Yeah.
So if you like Ninja Theory, it's kind of worth looking at that video because it's kind of straight from the horse's
Yeah.
mouth. This is why we did it.
It was really interesting to watch, and I know I saw a lot of Sony guys on Twitter. Their butts hurt.
Little butt
because- Yeah, they're a little butt hurt from.
I mean,
But there's
I
only
like
really
their
one
stuff,
that was Sony.
but
It happened.
Heavenly Sword was the one
Heavenly
that
Sword
Heavenly
was the only
Sword
one.
was the one that a lot of
Everything else-
people were hoping
Because
that
they
maybe
had
someday they would.
Enslaved was multi-platform.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, Heavenly Sword is a good game.
And then
I-
after that
I love
was
their
DMC.
cutscenes
DMC
and-
was after
and
that.
Yeah.
direction.
We had Hellblade, so
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they were making tons of games that were Sony only anyway. I mean, Heavenly
so
Sword was it.
basically, Microsoft is going to pay them a lot of money to continue kind of experimenting and doing these weird kind of AA level games or whatever. That's kind of like Hellblade, which is what Ninja Theory kind of wanted to do. So
Yeah.
it's like we want to kind of just experiment a bit, find something we want to do, and then make a game out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was a major complaint for most, and I'm going to use the fanboy phrase. That many of the Xbox fanboys said, you've closed all your studios down, a lot of your studios down. You're not making very many first party games. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And now they went out and said, this is what we're going to do. We're buying all these studios. We're making a new studio from the ground
Yeah.
up. I mean, it
The only
showed that.
problem with this quote unquote problem is a couple of these just put out a new game or has
Mm-hmm.
one coming out at the end of the year. So really, you're not going to see dividends to this until the next Xbox, pretty much. Because
Probably.
of how long it takes to make games, they're not going to be ready to release until we have a new console.
That's what I'm guessing.
Or
I mean,
it'll be on both, like this one and the
yeah.
next one.
I mean, that's what I'm guessing. Forza will be out this fall. We Happy Few will be out before long, and it's already
I
been
mean, it
in
makes
early
sense.
access.
You've got to
Yeah,
invest in the stuff, but it's going to take time before they can make things. You can't just snap your fingers. And say,
Exactly.
oh, look at this thing. So I think it's cool.
yeah. I think it is too. I saw no problem with it. And in fact, if anything, it was a smart move on Microsoft.
It makes me think of Sony and what's the studio that makes like Journey and stuff like that.
Oh,
That game company.
Maybe.
Maybe? I don't
they
remember.
Make these more kind of like
I gotta look it up.
arty games, for lack of a better word, where I think that's kind of what they're going to let Ninja Theory do. Like here, do some experimenting and do something else. It's not going to be quite the same types of games, but it's not.
Yes,
be,
it's that game company.
yeah, it is.
It's not going to be exactly, here's a AAA game like all studios makes. It's going to be different types of things. At least
took me-
that's what they're saying now. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Took me a minute to find it. I forgot to type in Journey game, and I just typed in Journey, so I got the band. Because I just
want
assumed.
to know what Remedy is doing.
Yeah, I do too.
I was expecting to see something from Remedy, but we haven't. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything yet.
Curious.
So yeah, that was pretty strange. The Division 2, they had a lengthy gameplay trailer of it.
Boy,
Um,
that sure looks like The Division, except not in New York City.
Yep,
That's
it's
fine.
in Washington,
it's
D.C.
not
now.
winter, so that makes it look different. And then they totally trolled you by making it look like it was in a jungle, but it's really just the zoo.
Yeah, I thought it was. I really liked the Division, so I was texting my buddy while we were watching
Yeah.
it, and they were like, it was like the Division's coming out, and at this time instead of set in winter, it's set in summer. I went, ooh, boy, I'm real surprised they really went out on a ledge there and said, you know what, we
Yeah.
did winter last time, let's do
I mean,
summer.
it looks fine. If
yeah,
you like
it looked
The Division,
fine.
You'll like this one. They're not trying to sell new people,
Nope,
which they don't really have to, maybe. I don't know.
no. I mean, and I like the.
We'll probably learn more at Ubisoft.
I'm sure,
conference,
yeah,
assume.
and I like the setting in DC. I'm familiar with that area, so I like games. That's why I like Fallout 3 so well. It was set in DC, and I kind of was aware of places in DC, so it was kind of like walking around the game, going, "Oh, I know where that's at," or "I've been there,
I've been
or I've
there
seen
before."
that," or that kind of always is a cool thing. But yeah,
At
I mean,
least the fake comms were like maybe
my
15% less awkward this time, but still really awkward.
it was. I got halfway.
My build.
I got halfway through that, and when he said, "Let me switch my build," I looked at Nikki and I went, "We have never said that in anything. We may have said, 'Hang on, wait a minute, I got to get my gun,' but
Like, they
I
did a
never
good
really."
job of like half the things that were being said sounds like what a normal person would say.
Yeah.
But then you'd hit a line or two that you're just like, no.
Yeah,
that's-
no. Like when he used that one move, and I forget what it was called, when she used that grenade and it went under the ground and popped up, and she said the name of it. I was like, "This ain't Street Fighter. We never do stuff. If somebody did that in the chat while we were playing a game, we'd laugh at them. I mean, it was like weird.
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah, do a bear roll.
Barrels, Fox.
Then they, let's see, next Dying Light 2, they showed it. That game, I didn't really care for Dying Light, but the second one actually looks pretty cool. It looks like a mix of
I know
zombies.
someone here who
And-
does like dying.
Yeah, I do too. And Mirror's Edge. It looked a lot like Mirror's Edge with him running up stuff, running up the walls.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch a little bit more of that. But the thing with Dying Light, the one thing I really liked is for over a year, they pumped out new DLC for
Yeah.
free. All sorts of like in-game stuff, weapons, new quests. They just supported the game non-stop.
Yeah.
Which a lot of developers, they're like, here you go. You want the rest of the stuff? Give me another 50.
Yeah. Well, some of them are starting to get away from that now. So, yeah, I mean, it looked really cool. I'm kind of burned out on the zombie games.
Yeah, me
but
too a little bit. We'll see though. If
but
it's got
that
that
looked pretty
co-op
cool.
again, that 4-man co-op, that's what really sold me because it's really easy to play with people or play by yourself.
Yeah, and it looked like there was a really cool cause and effect kind of thing to it, where
Yeah.
you could choose what
Yeah.
if you did it this way, then it would cause this whole thing, and do it that way, it would do it. Yeah. I kind of like games
I'm
like
going
that
to
too.
go out on a limb and say they're making it sound way cooler than it actually is. And when they were
Probably.
sort of showing it, I'm like, it's definitely the case because it's going to be either this faction's goons in this zone or this other faction's
Yeah.
goons in this zone, but you're still going to have goons to deal with, at least for what they were showing.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's still kind of cool. It gives you a little bit of different window dressing, but yeah.
Yeah. And I like
It
that.
remains to be
focus.
seen how deep it actually is when they're putting all this big, huge like web of things. Like, maybe not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guys.
It looks
We'll
it looks
see.
pretty good too.
Yeah.
Dang.
It
But
looked
yeah, it does
really
look
nice.
in the game.
Yeah, it looked really,
Pretty.
really nice.
Punch the zombie in the face.
Kind of strangely out of left field, Fallout 76 actually had a announcement trailer at the event. I thought that was kind of weird since, like they said, Bethesda was right across the street getting ready for their press conference. But you know,
I thought that was a thing that actually worked pretty well. Maybe it's
Yeah.
just because Todd Howard is a personable person. Like, hey, you.
Personable person.
So, yeah,
it was
I was searching for a different word and just failed, so I went on.
I know what you meant.
But he's like, hey, Phil Spencer, he certainly has a lot of friends.
Yeah, he's he's a charming guy, and he had me come out on him. It was just hilarious. So, I wasn't expecting to see any trailer for Fallout other than the preview trailer we got. It's 4 times bigger than Fallout 4, so that's pretty
We'll
big.
see. That's the thing that I always go with. I don't care what the size is. I care how much content
Right.
there is. So you could just have the same
How
amount of
is it going
content
to be fast
spread
travel?
further apart. It doesn't make it better.
Right.
necessarily.
Well, and this one's set in West Virginia, which I've kind of went "Rah!" over because it's like, well, we actually watched the trailer like 3 times before it was over, so we could pick out everything. It was like, okay, there's the state capitol, there's the New River Gorge Bridge, there is the Greenbrier Hotel, which is pretty hilarious because there is actually a bunker underneath the Greenbrier Hotel for the President of the United States. Well, it was. Now it's open to the public. There was West Virginia WVU was in there, the hall up in Morgantown. There was a random power plant. There was a Mothman sighting. I saw the little fluttering gang with the red. That was the Mothman from here in town. So, it is. I always like the Fallout games anyway, and I'm always kind of excited for them because I always like that post-apocalyptic games anyway. But when it's kind of set at home, I kind of even like it even better.
I always think about how I really, really like them, but I have never played any of them more than once. Like, I finished it.
Yeah.
I get like halfway through a second playthrough, and I'm like,
I never went back and played them a second time because usually by the time I get to the end of it, I'm
they're
so
so big, you don't want
exhausted.
to.
Exactly,
Yeah, and,
they're
like,
so
Fallout and, like, New
big. I'm like,
Vegas, there was like, and Fallout 3, there were like a ton of endings, and
Yeah.
like, I'm just like, yeah.
I've always loved their concepts and story and their humor, but I've just never gotten into the gameplay. I just don't like the back system, and I'm just like,
chore.
Oh, I love that's the one
Four
thing
for
about
me
Fallout I
especially,
do
like I had a hard time staying focused, and eventually I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
focus on the story.
yeah. But
What's
We
over
still
there?
don't know exactly what kind of game it is. There's been
Yeah.
rumors that it's not just a single player game, that it's going to be some online survival game. And they didn't actually say what it is with this, so I don't know if the rumors are incorrect or if they're being proven true. I guess we can find out once Bethesda we watch
Just
that
give me
stuff.
some nuclear
Yeah.
powered.
we'll find out when we watch the Bethesda thing. Fallout 4. They also announced that Fallout 4 is available
Horizon
on.
4.
Uh,
Wait, Fallout 4.
No,
sorry.
Fallout 4. Yeah, is
I'm
on.
skipping ahead because it's
nope.
like right next to each other.
Nope. Yeah, I know it's easy. Is on Game Pass today. Actually, you can get Fallout 4, EverQuest or Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls Online
and-
something else.
Gosh, what was the third one? I don't even remember now. And I was surprised by all those on Game Pass. It was.
so do you have to pay for Elder Scrolls Online subscription?
Nope.
Okay,
It's
so
free to play.
Wow.
So yeah, so if you're a Game Pass owner, if you pay for Game Pass, you can play Elder Scrolls Online without buying the package. Usually, you just buy it and then you pay for free.
Oh, that's right. They took the subscription out, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
all
Yeah,
together.
they
Okay.
they have microtransactions in there and
Yeah.
stuff, but you don't have to buy anything to play it. And
Still
golly,
cool, but not as good of a deal as I thought.
Yeah, well, it's a good deal if you're a Game Pass owner,
yeah.
Yeah.
and then you don't have to pay $60 for the brand new Elder Scrolls expansion, or $40, or however much it is. It's there.
True.
Did you look up and see what the third game was? Because I don't remember what it was.
I clicked on the thing here that's the link from here, but it only mentions Fallout 4, so I didn't go diving too far down the rabbit hole because it was going to take too long.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was either. That's too bad. It must not have been anything groundbreaking.
It's all right. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it is
Super
too.
exciting! Yay!
Yay, free game.
Hey, everybody wins.
Forza Horizon 4, like we said, is coming this year. Looked really cool.
Not a surprise.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm not either. Usually, it's the main Forza game, and then there's
Every other year.
Hey,
Horizon.
Per, how's it going?
This time it's in the UK, and it's got a whole lot of different seasons with different weather. Is the big
Yeah,
thing.
looked really cool because they showed a trailer where you're in the in the spring or whatever, and then all of a sudden they changed it to winter, and the lake froze, and you could drive over the lake to get to other places that you could normally not get to, and stuff like that. I like the Forza Horizon series. I don't usually buy the Forza Horizon games, but let's see. Since it's on Game Pass day one, I'll be able to play it. But it definitely looked very, very cool. When was the date? October is when it was. Okay, I had to look at the date exactly when it was coming out. Gears of War. They talked about Gears of War.
Start at the actual start. Not when this starts.
Okay, I'll start at the actual start. So they had this weird thing. It was Gears of War, but it was the pop characters. And
It's a mobile
it's
game.
a mobile
Yay.
game of
Fun
based on the
Gears is what I want. Totally, guys.
and the minute they showed that, I just immediately picked up my phone and went, "Oh, let me look at something else while they're talking about."
Actually, he looked at his phone and he's like,
that." Yeah,
However,
immediately.
right sandwiched
fine,
at the
toss
end
it
of
gently
that,
down.
briefly they showed the Gears of War Tactics game.
Yeah.
Which actually looks cool because that's more like an XCOM style game in
Yeah.
the Gears universe. I'm like, ooh, that could be cool.
And I saw that, and I thought it looked really cool. But where I toned out when they talked about the Funko Pops thing, I thought it was a mobile game too. I didn't realize it was on PC. I thought it was the Tactics game was a mobile game
the
too.
Tactics is not. But
So
yeah.
no, it's not. And then they actually showed a trailer of Gears of War 5. Man, it looked good. It looked really, really good. It's the female protagonist this time.
Well, I mean, I was watching that whole thing, and I'm like, man, this totally ties into Gears of War 4 because I don't recognize anybody.
Yeah. And
I've played 1, 2, and 3. I haven't played 4.
I haven't played 4 either. I
There
own
was
it, but I
some-
haven't played it.
Someone in there looked familiar. Was it JD Phoenix or Papa Phoenix? I don't remember his name.
There
Marcus.
was a younger Phoenix person. I
Yeah,
don't know that-
the younger
but it said
one was
Phoenix-
there.
It said Phoenix on the armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I haven't.
I didn't play
haven't-
4, so I don't know anything about the story.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah.
I haven't played 4, so I don't know. I own 4,
I
but
mean,
it's one of those games I haven't played.
This trailer sure looks pretty. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but it seemed like the character models and the armor was not quite as big shouldered and large as what I think of from Gears of War.
Yeah.
It's still big, but it feels like slightly smaller.
It wasn't quite as exaggerated.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's definitely cool. They showed right off the bat. The first game they showed was Halo Infinity or Infinite or however they
Halo
say it.
Infinite.
Infinite.
This is a teaser trailer. We don't know what it is.
Yep, it's pretty much like what they did with Halo 5 or something like that. They kind of did the
The
same
joke
thing. Yeah.
that I laughed so much about on
They
the
drop it in,
Discord
here you
chat
go.
with some of my friends. They're saying, "Hey, it's Halo Master Chief Battle Royale."
It was.
Master Chief wins. I was like, "Oh, that would have been so funny and
that
so
would be kinda
long all at the
interesting.
same
Kind of
time."
along the same lines as the Gears of War. Master Chief looked kind of slim.
Yeah.
He was not didn't have his big bulky armor on.
I mean, we didn't really get to see him fully. Really,
No.
It was just the helmet and the hand.
Helmet and part of his
But
leg area.
It looked pretty for a teaser
Yeah,
trailer
it
kind of
did.
thing.
It'd be interesting to see, what
see
it
what
is.
it
If
is.
it's a whole reboot or if it's a.
Well, yeah, it's not numbered, so I was like, okay, well, is this a spin-off game?
Yeah.
Are they just going to like subtitles now instead of numbers? We'll find out more
Yeah,
later.
we'll
I
find
guess.
out more
I
whenever.
saw a little bit of speculation. They showed like 3 rings that were kind of made out of rock that people are thinking might have been the original Halo rings.
Yeah, well, it looked like they were on the Halo, so, and we all know what happened to the Halo at the end of Halo. Man, I'm saying Halo a lot.
It
How many times
Put
can
on
you
an
say
angel.
Halo?
Halo.
But yeah, I mean, it looked cool, and I figure it'll be just fine. I still haven't played 5 yet, but I'm sure it'll be just fine. It's another one of those games I bought. I haven't played it yet.
I got halfway through and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Anime the Game.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was Jump Force. It's Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece, and I didn't know what the other one was Death Note.
Note.
I don't keep up with anime anymore,
All
so I
I
do know
recognized was
This would be like this
Dragon
would be
Ball,
Ryan's
and that was
jam,
it.
pretty much.
Yeah.
He's up on that stuff.
Looked like
I
a
was
cool.
like, nope, not for me.
Yeah, it's not for me,
I
but it's
mean-
a brawler. It's a 3D brawler.
Yeah, those games
and-
they,
But it
they
looked
usually
cool.
get
Yeah, it looked
they usually
cool.
get pretty good reviews. And
Yeah.
if you're fans of the show,
yeah, if you're a fan of anime and you love that stuff, I'm sure it'll be just fine. It looked
I know
really
they've got a couple
cool.
on
It was
3DS.
it was very interesting looking, but I'm not up on the
Yeah.
the anime stuff. Just Cause 4 was shown. Trailer was shown. That game looks really cool.
More Just Cause is always good.
I'm guessing
Something to-
that the
I
bad
think
guy
we'll
in the
probably hear more, see more.
Oh, I'm
It
sure.
seems
The
like
Square
one of
Enix
the,
has their
uh,
own. Square Enix has their own press conference tomorrow, so yeah, you'll hear a lot more of it.
It seems like one of the factions from Just Cause 2, the leader of that, which was like a female,
Yeah,
was in this trailer, which it's different than Just Cause 3 that did
I
not
just-
have any of those.
I just
So was
assumed-
that's an interesting way to go with it.
I just assumed the protagonist in the game this time was a tornado.
Yeah, I know, right? At the beginning, I was like, oh, maybe it was just a thing, and Big Twister shows up again towards the end. They're like, okay, maybe we have hook shots and a tornado gun? What's going on? I don't know.
I don't know. Who
care. It's
knows?
Just
Yeah,
Cause.
yeah. I
Those
mean,
games are fun.
I'm wondering if maybe it's something with weather control or something. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, it looked cool though. I mean, yeah, and the Just Cause games are really fun. So.
Dude, those are some of the best games for just going in an open world
Just
and causing mayhem.
Dude, that's all I ever did in them. I don't think I ever
Yeah.
played the story in them. I
I
just
mean,
went in and
all
blew
of
up
the
stuff.
mechanics, all the mechanics of Just Cause are, bent towards causing mayhem. They literally call it mayhem, I
Yep.
think, in at least one of the games, or chaos, something like that.
Something I don't remember. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's like, go blow up all the things, get points for it, yay!
yeah, I'm fine with that. New Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. It says debuted at
Well, this
Xbox,
is a
but actually,
surprise because it's at Microsoft, right?
yeah, it
You
is.
don't
It's
think it was a-
it's never been on a
Microsoft game?
Microsoft console before, so it's
Yeah.
actually cross platform this time.
Yeah.
January 29th is the date. We'll see if it actually comes out then. When it's in people's hands, I'll believe it.
Yeah, this was a very long trailer, and since I've never played any Kingdom Hearts game, I'm like, I have no idea what any of this
Well,
means.
you know what? I played the first Kingdom Hearts game. I didn't care for it, so I
Oh
haven't
man, I
played
love
any
Kingdom
since
Hearts
then.
1.
So when I noticed it was a Kingdom Hearts trailer, I had dinner in the toaster oven. I went, time to get up and go get my dinner real quick. I got plenty
When
of
I was
time.
watching it, I'm like, okay, all these, the Disney characters that are in here, they look good. They
Yeah.
look about as good, close to the movies as you could get from a video game. So I'm like, sure, neat. It looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
super-
cool.
I'm super pumped from Kingdom Hearts. I've been trying to stay away from all the trailers as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. It's
it looks nice.
It's a nice role playing. It's just not my cup of tea.
It's
when it
very
comes to role playing
sort
games.
of story heavy, I assume.
Yeah,
They're
they usually
alluding to
are.
All the stuff that I have no idea what's going on. Like, well, there's a Keyblade thing, and there's some Disney characters.
Some spiky hair. and-
Yeah,
There's somebody who's kind of creepy, dark smoke looking for a second. All right, I have no idea what any of this is, but
yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
looks
It's
pretty-
absolutely
looks pretty
fine. Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, there's a big fan base of Kingdom Hearts. It's just not a
Oh,
game
yeah.
I play. It's just I tried. Don't care for it. Metro Exodus was showed. That game looks
Awesome.
really cool.
Yeah,
looks
I pre-ordered,
really
I pre-ordered my copy today.
No, did you? Yeah, I mean, it looked really, really cool. It was very dark
I
and
like
gritty, and and it's then I still
I
have
like
to.
that it showed off a lot of different monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
Different of the like.
Now you're going to be above ground.
makeshift weapons and things, different stuff. It was like, yeah, this looks really cool. I
Yeah,
definitely want
it
that.
did. It looked really, really cool. I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty awesome.
Which
Did you-
before it comes out, I still need to play the second one. I've only played the first one.
Really?
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. See, I finished the
Yeah.
second one, and I got like halfway through when they came out to PS4 because I finished it originally on like PC. But I've got like halfway through the first one, so I need to go back and try to finish it.
Yeah, I think I've got both
It's
of them
good,
on
just-
Xbox.
It's just
from
dang
Games
challenging.
Workshop.
You got to be
Yeah,
prepared.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Really?
wonder if this one will still lean heavily into kind of survival limited resources kind of thing,
Resources.
or if they'll ease up on
Yeah.
that for more of a cool factor. Or
I
what
don't
they're
know.
gonna do with
They
it.
had like a piece in Game Informer several months ago, and I was reading through it, and I think they're still going to have like the limited resource and stuff, and you'll still have those groups you can help and
Yeah.
partner with.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be. Let's see what else. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Ooh, that's a
Yay,
mouthful.
more
Pretty.
Ori.
Yeah, that game is very, very pretty. Very, very
The
cool.
only thing that makes me sad is it's not all hand, or at least it looks it, because Ori doesn't. It looks like a
Yeah.
3D model now, and it doesn't. In the first game, it looks like a sprite. So I
Yeah.
don't know if that's just the way they drew it, or if it actually is, and it was a 3D model in the first one, but just the way they rendered it in game looked better or different, or if it's just me being weird. I don't know, but it still looks really cool. I love a lot of the little glimpses of the mechanics that we got to see of different traversal stuff. It
Yeah,
was different from the first game. I was like, ooh, that looks fun.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
it looked pretty cool. I'll probably pick it up when it comes out. I like the first one a lot. It's very,
Yeah,
very
the first
cool.
one I love, except for every once in a while I had this super high difficulty spikes where it's just like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm getting through this pretty good, and then all of a sudden, oh, holy crap, I'm dying a lot.
Yeah, you hit this wall that was just like
Especially the one stupid part where you're in a tree and it starts flooding, and you have to quickly like
Yeah.
do all this fancy
Ugh.
platforming to the top. If you make any little mistake, you're dead. I was like,
And
died
I-
so many times on that part.
I know, and I made so many
And I
little
was even
mistakes.
extra angry because a lot of the parts that I died, I found out once I finally beat it, it was like literally like 1 or 2 jumps from the top, and I was like, oh come on.
Yeah, don't you hate that? Oh my gosh, I hate that.
But I haven't played the remake. Apparently, they balanced it a little bit with kind of like the definitive edition, whatever it's called. I have it.
I was gonna say,
no, I don't have that one. I didn't get it.
I have it. I think that was one they gave away on Xbox Live Gold or
Yeah.
something like that. I think
But
I
I
have
think
it.
it added a little bit of content too, and I just never
Yeah.
got around to playing it again.
Yeah, but yeah, this one looked really, really cool. So I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
There's an update for PUBG. They're getting a new map this summer. Sea of Thieves is getting an update. They had a tease of, I don't know if it's an
Yeah,
expansion.
there's 2. It's like
or,
July and August. I
Yeah.
think is what it was.
There was 2
I'm
of them,
glad to
so-
see that they're still supporting it.
Yeah,
Oh,
if they
yeah.
keep pumping content out, at this pace, by this time next year, it's gonna be a whole different game.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people playing it. They've already had their first
Yeah.
big, I don't know what you call it, community thing, adventure or whatever that's been out for maybe a week or 2. And I know a lot of people enjoyed it. You're like hunting a shark or something like that, some crazy tooth shark. I think he was at the beginning of one of the trailers for it or something. But yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. I
Yeah, they have
haven't played a whole lot of it
Kraken,
though.
which was in there at the start, and then they added
Yeah.
the whatever the shark is called.
Whatever the
in
shark
that.
is
I
called,
can't
yeah.
remember.
And the next game, I'm not real sure how to say it. Sekiro? Shadows?
Sekiro?
Sekiro?
I think it's Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
That game looked pretty cool. It's
I want to play this
it's
game.
from Software.
Is this the one that they teased at the last conference?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I
Because
really
it looks
don't
kind
remember.
of like a similar kind of weapon to this weird fantasy samurai looking thing that they've got going on here.
Yeah, that game.
I was
It,
really
This
hoping for a
game looks
Bloodborne 2.
I mean, if that's going to happen, it's not going to be at Microsoft, right?
Well, yeah, I know, but if they're doing this, they're not doing Bloodborne 2 anytime soon.
yeah,
I mean, unless they have 2 teams now, but yeah, probably not.
yeah, we'll find out tomorrow.
But this game looks really cool. It looks a lot more like Bloodborne in the sense that it's faster paced. It's not like slow and methodical like the Dark Souls games are. And
Yeah,
who knows? This might not even be a Souls-like game because it might just be more of just a straight-up action game from them. There's a lot of there's like a grappling hook thing and a bunch of jumping around and lots of sword slashing. It made me think hey, I bet they're kind of annoyed that Neo came out because it has a similar vibe to it.
yeah,
Mm.
Where it's kind of like a bit of a samurai looking thing, but with all of kind of mystical stuff mixed in. It doesn't look the same as Neo though, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks like fun. It's from Software. I definitely want to play it.
yeah. I do too. It looks really, really cool. That's exactly what I thought, though. I kind of thought at first it was like, oh, is this a samurai version of Dark Souls? It's like
It might be. I was thinking more Ninja Gaiden in my head when I didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
Something kind of like that. Not exactly because you're not a ninja, but, something similar in that type of an action game. But
yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out more once
Oh,
it
I'm
gets
sure.
closer to release, because it's next year. I think it was just 2019 is all it said.
Yeah, I think that's all it said. So, and then they had a lot of other games. They had tons of just little quick indie games.
A little montage.
Yeah, a little montage of indie games, and some of them look really, really cool. And
if you guys haven't played it on PC, because it's the only place it is yet, because it's an early access game on Steam, Dead Cells. If you like, kind of like Rogue Legacy or any roguelikes of that type of a style, Dead Cells is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had heard something about that on another podcast. I'll have to check it out.
It was really cool when they first put it out. It was kind of like bare bones, and they've added it since then, and it's going to be coming out of early access probably about the same time it's releasing on console. I haven't looked at it lately to see what the date is,
Add it
but
to
it's
the
really
watch
fun game.
list.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
the one game that they didn't have on here was what was the Fox game? What was that game called?
Oh yeah, it was kind of one made by just one person. Or
Yeah,
something.
it was like a Norwegian or a North Nova Scotia.
What
I don't
that
remember.
was called.
That thing looked really, really cool. It almost looked
Because
like a little
the
Zelda
reason-
game with the fox.
Yeah, the reason that I don't know the actual name is because soon it was going around. I nicknamed it in my head Voxel Fox, and then I couldn't get that out of my head.
Yeah, I don't. They do not have it listed here on the games, which is kind of surprises me because that was actually a really cool game. I should have wrote it down, but I totally forgot what it was. But it looked really neat. It looked like I said, it looked like a Zelda game, but it was fox. It was a fox.
It was called Tunic.
Tunic. That's right. That's right.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it looked really, really neat. I thought that one was, and I don't know if that was I can't remember. Does it say if it was an exclusive or is it just an indie
Okay,
game?
apparently this little story that I found, it was originally announced, it was called Secret Legend in 2015, so now it's actually coming out, they renamed it to something.
Huh.
But it's just, some guy in Nova Scotia, Canada.
Yeah. It looked really cool though. I thought that was really neat. So I don't
Got
know.
your eye.
I'll
It looks
pick-
like a cool little indie game. There were several of them in there that
Yeah.
montage is like, okay, I recognize that one from Steam and that one from Steam. But
Yeah,
they're
there
good games. You only have an Xbox, go ahead and get some of them.
Yeah, there looked like there was a lot of cool ones in there, and it went
Yeah, it
by
was
so
like the-
fast. It was like
These days, the indie games come out on a lot of the platforms, so no matter where you play, you can get some pretty cool
Mm-hmm.
little games.
I've been playing a lot of those indie things on my Switch. They've been really good. It's been a really good indie title system. Oh, The Division. That was the other game. Right there in the Game Pass. They added,
At the bottom there.
yeah, they added Fallout 4, Elder Scrolls, and The Division.
That's why it's
Division.
because it wasn't actually a Bethesda game, so it wasn't coming to mind. Right?
Yeah, it wasn't coming to mind at all. That's why I wasn't thinking of it.
Yeah. And apparently, like, the one weird thing about the Xbox conference is the Game Pass section should have just been a quick little trailer of like,
Yeah.
here's this, and this, but it was someone
Yeah,
talking,
just a
and
bunch
it
of
was like,
hits.
hey, we have fast start, which is kind of like loading faster, but it's faster than that, and I'm like, so?
I guess
Who cares?
I don't know. I guess this is good for people that have slower internet. You know, you can download chunks of it and start to play it early, kind
Yeah.
of like you.
And then
But
the rest finishes in the back.
yeah, and
Is
the
this
rest.
for
What
if
I
you're
mean-
just streaming it?
No,
The weird-
this is Game Pass. This is if you're
Yeah, this is
downloading
Game
if
Pass.
you're downloading games.
So it's like you download just a small portion of the game and start it to play.
Oh, I see.
Before
Yeah.
you downloaded it.
Kind
all.
of like
Just
what
something-
what Sony does when you buy a game. You can
You
choose.
can choose,
You can choose.
yeah.
This just does it in the background for you, so it starts downloading.
It's all powered by machine learning and
Yeah,
hey,
and algorithms and all
stuff
this and that.
Sure, awesome.
Honestly-
Does it work? great.
Honestly, I have never had any issue downloading games from Game Pass that take any longer than maybe 10 minutes, and they're maybe a 20 gig game. Most of them, I'm like, okay, but I mean, and I'm
Well,
not saying
even
I
if
have
you
super.
slower internet.
Yeah, if you have
just
slower internet, it's good.
do
You
it
just-
overnight or something.
Yeah, you just
know?
wait. I mean, it's
And
not
then you
that
have
big
the
a
game
deal.
downloaded, it's fine, but whatever, it's cool. It's like sort of a feature that already existed that they're talking about. Hey, we used machine learning to make it faster.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed
Great,
She knows.
good job.
it was just weird. It seemed like it was something that I didn't need to. They really didn't
It
need to
seems
tell
like
me.
something that should have been a short little press release somewhere else rather than like.
Yeah, it could have been like a
mentioned at the
pre-E3
Yeah.
release.
I would have.
Because it's like games. Here's something about algorithms. What?
I would have rather. I would have rather seen something about here's a 2 million players playing or members of Game Pass and blah 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 blah
That
blah
was a
or
weird
whatever.
thing. Did I just miss it, or did they not use all of their gaming stations on their stage?
They did not use all their gaming
They
stations,
only used up to, it was like
Well,
8 for 4.
but they
had a
had
ton of-
they had different people coming in different sections. I think is what it was. So I think they had one
Maybe
game
it
on this
was-
one and one game on that
They
one.
just had this demos were loaded on these, and these were loaded here, so that to like move things around. It's just like, okay, walk to the one that your game is on.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it was.
Yeah.
Or they had the Fan Fest going on there too, so that may have been something to do with a lot
Was
of that.
that
May
in
have
the
been with
same,
the Fan
same
Fest.
room, maybe?
Yeah, it could have been. I don't know.
Because when it started, I was thinking, oh, we're gonna have a big multiplayer demo or something. Cause
That's
there's a
what
lot
I
of
thought.
stations.
Well, and the crowd was so big. I mean, that was like the biggest crowd I'd ever seen in my. But then when they said, "Yeah, we have our Fan Fest people here too," and it was like, "Oh, okay, I see." And I thought, well, maybe that's what all those things were. That maybe they were just there for playing demos or something like that at the Fan Fest thing. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it was. I think the Microsoft conference was really, really good. I think it will be interesting to see what Sony. The Sony conference is always different than the Microsoft conference. The Microsoft conference, I like the way the Microsoft conference is there's not a lot of talking. There's trailer. Here's a
Yeah.
first party game. The guy comes out, talks about it for a few minutes, and they go back, and then we show a trailer.
Well, that's how Sony does it.
Well, Sony does there, but theirs is they do.
trailers.
Yeah, theirs are more. They're more centered on their exclusive and first party, where Microsoft kind of does everything.
They still have multi-platform stuff there.
It's
They
going to
do.
be a weird year for Sony because we already know what like their main first party tentpoles are going to be. So now it's just all in the third party hands. What are you guys going to show us this year?
Yeah,
Maybe, or that there's nothing to say that they haven't like kept something secret to distract.
Sure,
you.
that
Hey, here's this over here.
One more thing
I'm
surprise.
sure everybody, Microsoft and Sony always end with something that nobody has heard anything about. So
Or I mean, this time they do a little like some weird fancy thing like, oh no, we've been hacked. Here's someone booting their hacks folder, and it turns out it's a Cyberpunk trailer.
yeah. So I don't know, but pretty cool. We haven't seen.
I'd say it was a really solid one, but it wasn't like a knock your socks off, tons of surprises. There was a few like smaller surprises, but it wasn't like, say, the same reaction that Final Fantasy VII Remake got a few years ago, or
Yeah.
like Shenmue got. It wasn't. There was nothing that huge. But
Yeah,
it
it wasn't
Everything
like-
was really good, but there was nothing that was like, whoa, holy crap.
All right.
I mean, Devil May Cry 5.
Nah, pff,
I mean, that was good, but
it was all right.
leaked enough beforehand that I don't know that anyone's super surprised by it.
I wasn't, but it'd been leaked so crazy. I mean,
Even if it hadn't been leaked, it'd be like, okay, it's a cool looking new Devil May Cry game.
Yep.
About time. It wasn't like, oh, we've been, never would have expected that.
yeah, never. All right. So, any final thoughts here before we call it a show, and we all go catch what's left of the Bethesda show, so we can watch it again, watch the beginning of it.
Yeah, I already looked at the highlights, but I'm not going to say anything.
Is it already over, or is it still going?
If it was like last year, it might even almost be over because the Bethesda's last year.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't
Getting
that.
out.
Wasn't that long last year. So, but anyway, that's our plan. What we'll do is, like I said at the top of the show, for those listening at home on the podcast, you're never going to know this because I'll cut this all out. Well, I'm going to put it together and it'll all come out
Or
Wednesday.
will you? And then
Yeah.
it'll be really awkward. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it'd be weird. But so we'll be back Tuesday at 10. Is that what we agreed on? 10?
Yeah,
It was
10.
10, right? Okay. I can't
So,
keep
yeah.
I can't keep times in my head straight. for
Tuesday
some
night
reason.
at some point in
Tuesday
time.
night
probably
at
10,
some point.
Unless we forgot.
Yeah, unless we forget. It'll be at 10, and that's where we'll talk about everything else that came Monday and Tuesday, because the Nintendo was pretty early in the morning. So why are you
Yeah.
not streaming tomorrow, Matt? That's unacceptable. I don't accept not streaming. Oh, is
Always
okay.
be
Well, if
streaming, Matt.
you're
Always be
moving,
streaming.
fine.
Gotta move all that
right.
stuff.
I mean, Nathaniel moved this weekend, and he's streaming. Look,
Here he is.
here he is. Shots fired.
Challenge.
But no, that's fine. It's fine. I got to give Matt a hard time. But yeah, so we'll come back Tuesday and we'll talk about everybody else's Sony, Nintendo, and any of the other ones that kind of caught our eye for the rest of the other shows. I have a feeling, one of the guys was like, well, Ubisoft's already announced this, and they've already said that, and Square Enix has said this and had this trailer. What are they going to talk about their press conferences? All they're going to do is flesh out the games. They're just not taking the time to sit at a Microsoft conference and talk. So, we probably, unless they pull something out of left field that they haven't announced, like maybe a new Assassin's Creed game or something like that, we probably won't press too much.
No, there's a new Assassin's Creed game that leaked and then was confirmed by Ubisoft already.
Yep. So
that can't be it.
yeah, no, that can't be it. But it'll probably mostly be Sony and Nintendo with a little bit of other stuff trickled in. But that's the plan anyway, and I think that's a whole lot better because then it'll be a 3-hour condensed show instead of us sitting here for 3 hours talking about it. And we'll talk about Bethesda too, because I've just glanced on Twitter and there's a lot of cool
more
things
to talk
already.
about next time than we did tonight.
Oh yeah, we definitely
We'll have
will.
4 of them instead of 2.
Absolutely. So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to call it a night, so you guys and us can go check out everything else. Show 1. I need to make sure I save the thing before everything.
Based on my beeps in my head, I'm thinking Bethesda is probably done because I don't have as many now as I was earlier. 30 to 10 especially was just like beep 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 because all the people in the other like Discord channel on here chatting about whatever's going on, and I'm like bleep, bleep, bleep.
All the beeps have stopped, so that must be a good thing.
I was like, I should have turned the notifications off. Oh well.
Oh well, that's all right. I never heard them. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you
We'll
all
see you
Tuesday.